Given the graph for f has a domain of -4, 3 and a range of 3, 9, but not including, let g of x equal negative f of x plus 5 plus 2. Find the domain and range of g of x. So I need a visual of what's going on here. I see three things going on. Always deal with the fact that there's a negative in front of f of x. That tells me I have a vertical reflection over the x-axis. So I will say step number one, what we're going to do is we're going to reflect over the x-axis. Okay, vertical reflection. Now what I'm doing is I'm adding inside the f of x part. That means I have a horizontal translation of -5. Remember, whatever you're doing inside the f of x, you do the opposite. So a vertical, or a horizontal rather, translation of -5, so I'll write out ht of -5 is the same as me moving left 5. Okay, but I'm going to keep that ht of -5 there. You'll see why in a minute. After that, we add 2. That just means you move up 2, also known as a vertical translation of +2, which means you move up 2. All right, so I'm dealing with a picture where I have two things. All right, I have some kind of picture graph that goes from -4 to 3 and 3 to 9. So, something like this happens. Okay, something like that happens. The first thing that I do, and let me kind of write out the steps for my domain right here and my range right here. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to flip this over the x-axis, which means this now shows up down here, but more upside down. Now, how did that affect my domain? It didn't. So my domain, as of now, stays exactly the same. So my domain is still -4, 3. How did that affect my range? Well, if I flipped it upside down, then 3 becomes -3 and 9 becomes -9. So now my range is -9 to -3. Okay, I'm not going to write out -3 to -9, although the temptation is there. It's just backwards if I do that. Now what I do is I move 5 spaces to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, how does that affect my range? It doesn't. So right now, at this very moment, my range stays the same. How does that affect my domain? Well, if I move left 5, that means I subtract 5 from the x values of my domain. -4 went to -9. And regular 3, which is over here, went to -2. So maybe this picture should be a little bit more over here. Something like that. Okay, so 3 becomes -2. Now I'm going to move up 2. Boop, boop. Again, the picture is probably not accurate, so in fact, if I put it there, it'll be a little bit more accurate. So what does that look like for my domain? Nothing. Nothing changes for my domain, as I call it. But my range goes up 2, which means I'm going to add 2 to each value in my range. So that becomes -7, and that becomes -1. So there you have it. These problems are absolutely awful. This is the way that I viewed it. This is the way that I did it. Is it the best way? I don't know, but is it the way that makes sense in my pea brain? Yes. Thanks for watching.